Hey everybody, I wanted to hop on here real quick since we missed our morning meetings earlier this week and we missed our math Google Meet. So I'm going to do a quick refresher of what we've been going over in math class, and then I'm also going to switch that around and we're going to look at it with division. So we've been looking at how to multiply hard numbers. Okay, so we've got 300 times 400. Remember, the first thing we're going to do on this is we're going to underline the numbers that we're working with. 3 and 4. I want you to make sure you have a marker board in front of you and you're working these out with me. So we have 3 times 4. We know 3 times 4 is 12. Now we have to count up our zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we go ahead and add that to the product. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we start on the right and we count over every 3 digits. 1, 2, 3, comma. Now we read this as 120,000. 120,000. So that would be your answer. 120,000. Okay. All right, let's do another refresher question. So erase your boards. We have 70 times 80. Okay, so we have 7 times 8. We know that that gets us 56. Then we count up our zeros. We just have 2 zeros. So 1, 2. We start on the right and we go over every 3 digits. 1, 2, 3. Add our comma. So we know that the answer is 5,600. 5. Then we get to the comma. 1,600. Okay, so we have already gone over this. We know how to multiply hard numbers. We also looked at 2-digit by 1-digit multiplication. So we have 4 times 6. That's what we'll start with. Our very first move right here is 4 times 6. We know that that gets us 24. So again, I want you having a marker board in front of you and working these out. Hold my 1s, carry my 10s. Now I have 8 times 6. I know that 8 times 6 is 48. Add 2 more, that gets me 50. So my answer would be 504. There's another way that we can do this. We can break 84 down into 80 and 4. 80 times 6, and then you do 4 times 6. I know that 80 times 6, I can underline my 8 and my 6, and 8 times 6 is 48. Then I add the 1 0 I have, so that's 480. Then I have 4 times 6, which gets me 24. So now what I do, since I have my two products, is I add these together. So I do 480 plus 24. So 0 plus 4 gets you 4. 8 plus 2 gets me 10. Hold my 1s, carry my 10s. 4 plus 1 gets me 5. So look, you get the same answer. So either way you want to do this, I'm good with it. Or if you really want to make things complicated, you could have done 84 plus 84 plus 84 plus 84 plus 84 plus 84. Because we know that 84 times 6 is just 6 groups of 84, or 84 groups of 6. Okay, one more example like that. If you have 76 times 9, so erase your boards and write 76 multiplied by 9. The first thing that we want to do is 6 times 9. The trick with 9s, I always use my fingers, but there's so many different tricks. Personally, when I see anything multiplied by 9, I know that my first number, so my number in my 10 spot, is 1 less than the number being multiplied. So if it's 6 here, I know that my first number has to be 5. And I know 5 plus 4 gets me 9 because all the numbers always add up to 9. So that's how I do them quickly in my head. So I know 6 times 9 gets me 54. Hold my 1s, carry my 10s. 7 times 9, well, I know that 1 less than 7 is 6. 6 plus 3 gets me 9, so I know it's 63. Plus 5 more gets me 68. So I get 684. We can do this a different way. You could do 70 times 9, and you could do 6 times 9. I know 7 times 9 gets me 63. Add my 0, 630. I know 6 times 9 is 54. Now I add those together. Just might as well add them together right here. 0 plus 4 is 4. 3 plus 5 is 8. 6 plus 0 is 6. And look, I get my same answer. So either way you want to do this is cool with me. It gets you the same product. Okay, so now we're going to swap it. So we know how to multiply with large numbers. Let's see if we can divide with large numbers. So here is my quotient. It's my biggest number. So I have 2,500 divided by 50. So what we're going to do is you have your quotient. Okay, that's your big number. So this is pretty much the product if you're looking at the multiplication problem. This is your biggest number. This is what the answer is to a multiplication problem. And we're dividing it. Okay, so we're taking 2,500 and we're splitting it into 50 equal pieces. So originally, I'm just like we do with our big numbers with multiplication, we're going to do the same thing with division. So I'm going to underline my 25 and my 5. So I can pretty much ask myself, what is 25 divided by 5? Well, I know that 5 times what gets me 25? You're right, 5. So I know 25 divided by 5 is 5. So I'm going to write my 5 down. Okay. Now from here, I have 1 0 right here. So I'm going to take away a 0 from my big number. So since we're dividing it, we're taking away a 0 here. And that leaves me with 1 0 left. So that's what I put as my answer. That makes sense because I know that 50 times 50 would get me 2,500 because 5 times 5 is 25, and then I have 2 zeros, so I add them in. See that? So we're just pretty much doing the opposite of what we've already learned. Let's look at another example. If we have 42,000 divided by 60, I need to underline my 42 and my 6. So my quotient is my 42, and my divisor is 60. We're trying to figure out what is the dividend. No, just kidding. This is my dividend. This is my divisor. I'm trying to figure out my quotient. My bad. Okay, so you have 42 divided by 6. So this is asking you 6 times question mark gets me 42. So 6 times what gets you 42? Well, I know 6 times 7 is 42. I love you. So I know that 42 divided by 6 gets me 7. So I'm going to go ahead and write that as my answer. Now there is 1 0 here. So I might as well take that away from my dividend. That leaves me with 2 zeros left. So I know that that has to go in my quotient. So I have 700 times 60 equals 42,000. Let's see if that adds up because I have 42,000 divided by 60 gets me 700. 7 times 6 is 42. Then I have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yep, that checks out. Therefore, I know 42,000 divided by 60 gets me 700. Last example. Erase your boards. I have 640,000 divided by 800. So same thing as with multiplication. We got to underline the things that we know. So we underline our 64 and our 8. So this is pretty much 64 divided by 8. So it's asking 8 times what gets you 64? You're right. 8 times 8 gets you 64. So you know that there's a relationship there. So 64 divided by 8 would get you 8. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down as my quotient. Now, I have 1, 2 zeros. So I'm going to go over here to my dividend and I'm going to mark out 2 zeros. That leaves me with 2 remaining zeros. So that would go as my answer. So I'd say 640,000 divided by 800 is 800. Let's see if that checks out. Let's change that into a multiplication problem. 800 times 800 equals 640,000. Underline your 8. 8 times 8 is 64. Hi, Ezra. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that gives me 4 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it all does check out. So I know 640,000 divided by 800 is 800. I'm glad that we were able to learn how to divide big numbers since we already know how to multiply big numbers. I can't wait to see what you guys get with these sample problems I'm about to ask you. Have a great Tuesday.